Hey guys, today I'm going to show you real quick how to properly place your leotard or um, 3D file in the space and export it so that when it goes into the 3D viewer, everything fits inside the window. So right now you can see I've just got a blank Blender file open, and that's what we're going to start with. Um, you don't need anything in here. I have a couple of files that we're going to import, and then I'll kind of show you what we're going to do. So the first thing that I've come up with here that we're going to import to size everything is a cube. And right now it's on a wave front object, so click import. Okay, lost it there. Import object. And then you're going to navigate to the 3D viewer cage, which will be in some of the downloads I'll give to you, and say import. And so right now you see you've got just a straight up cube in the middle of the area, and that's what we're going to place all of our leotards, um, singlets, anything you're going to put in the 3D window. We're going to make sure it fits inside that box. But you can't see through the box, so let's fix that. Um, you just have to select it here. And then click on right here, the object properties, the orange box, and scroll down to the bottom to where it says viewport display. Now in there, you can turn, right here it says display as, so let's change that from textured to wire. So essentially what you've done is you turned off the way it renders that. And so this object only, is always going to appear as a wired frame, which is what we want because we're going to be able to see through it. So the next thing, and it should already be in position exactly where we need it to be. So you don't have to change or move or adjust anything, just leave it exactly where it is. Um, in fact, if you want, you can even go up here, and I think I have to turn all the other stuff on. But you can even make it unselectable. So, because we're not going to move it, we're not going to mess with it anymore. We just want to be able to see it. Um, yeah. So now what we want to do next is go to import and go to GLTF. Um, I guess, okay, so you have two different options here. One, you can import your model that you created from Marvelous Designer, Blender, whatever. You can import that in here and use that. But today I'm fixing models that we already made. So in that case, it's already been exported to a GLB file on the server. So I'm going to use and import a GLTF, but you can do this just as easily with anything else. So let's go to GLTF. I'm going to pick the 1148S and just say import. And so here you see, we've got our singlet in here and it is way too big. And that's why sometimes you see it'll cut off the top or cut off the bottom, or when you adjust it, it cuts off inside the box. So we're going to shrink it down a little bit. Um, the first thing we're going to do is hit the tilde key and select front. That will bring you into a front view of the singlet that you can adjust. The next thing, we're going to go ahead and scale it. I still have all the parts selected, A, the E and B, the I and T. So I'm going to select that and we're going to scale it down. And you may have to do this a few times to get it to fit inside the box. I'm going to scale it down, I think, to about right there. So what I'm doing is just scaling, hitting S, moving my mouse, and then I'm going to move with G to select the move tool, and then Z, because I only want to move it on the Z axis. And that way I don't have to worry about it shifting on me, in the foreground or the background or left to right, anything like that. So as you can see, I still have it a little small. We're going to try and maximize the space here. So I'm going to scale it up just a little bit more, and that looks about right. You could have like a hair over the box edges. That doesn't matter too much, but I try to be as consistent as possible. And so I actually have an example leotard in or example singlet in here that I can turn on and off just to make sure I'm kind of in the same space as all the other ones. Um, okay, so right now you can see we've got it inside the box. It's inside the box on all sizes, all sides and everything, so we're good to go. Uh, but before we do anything else, we need to save the transformation we just made. And what that does is it basically zeroes out all the transformations so that when it gets exported, nothing moves around. Um, if you see anything in your final file that's weird, the embellishment layer is off, the artwork is off, anything like that, come back here and try to do this again and do this step and see if it helps. Um, so what we need to do is hit Command A, and it brings up this menu, and all you want to do is select Apply All Transforms. So basically that shifts everything so that this is the 0 point for this model, which is what we want. Um, then after that, it's pretty straightforward. You just go to File, go to Export. Um, as you can see, I still have just this singlet selected, so the parts that I want to export, and then that way I don't have to worry about it exporting the cage or my example. So I'm going to go to GLTF again. I'm going to go down and let's give it a new file name. I've just been saving these with a fixed. And then for your presets, you want it to be GLTF. You want it to include only the selected objects, which is what I said before. You don't want to export the cage or the example. Um, transforms, fine, data. Most of this stuff is exactly what you would have already normally selected. I didn't export any materials because we don't need them. The lighting is fine. Make sure compression is turned on, otherwise your file will be huge. And you can turn off everything in animation because we don't use that right now. So hit export GLTF. That'll save your file. Now, if you're doing a bunch of them at once, right now you can just hit the X key with a delete, and it just deleted what I imported in. So now I'm actually ready for the next file, and I can keep doing these over and over and over again. So from this point, all you need to do is upload that GLB to your server and do a refresh. You want to make sure you change like the seed value or change something to make sure it's pulling a fresh model. Just make sure everything looks okay on Liquid Pixels and online. Right now, you're probably not going to see an update immediately on the website. If you go to the website to check things, you can sometimes force it by playing around with a few colors to get a new, like a refresh. So you can definitely try that. I've made it, I got it to work for a few of them, not for all of them. It just depends on what colors you pick and what options you pick. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully this all goes well for us. Thanks.